Hey everyone, and welcome to a review and stats information thing for Once and Future Fling, written by Leigh Heasley. So this particular book, I actually was approved for an e-arc on NetGalley. This is not supposed to be released until November 7th of this year. So I think I'm going to give it a 3-star. This is a romance. It involves time travel. And those are the only tags on Goodreads so far. So yes, so this is a romance. One thing I would say, okay, so this one we're following Ada. She was involved in a romance, turned into a big scandal, saying that starting to call her a homewrecker. So you can kind of get where that's coming from. And then there's 2 male interests, Sam St. Laurent and Henry. Henry is from 1920. Sam is modern day, and it's your standard romance. This particular one, Ada works at a bank. Time travel is a thing. And she goes to she wants to go to the Regency era and try to find her special someone in Regency times. And so you're following as she stumbles through that. There's talk of her possibly being born in the wrong time. She feels like she doesn't belong where she is and things like that. So she does travel back in time to the Regency era and to the 1920s. One thing, you do have some commentary on people that are plus size in a negative way. So you do have what a lot of people would classify as fat phobia. You do have plus size characters. You do have some diversity when it comes to ethnicity. You have someone that they do mention is Puerto Rican. Obviously you have people that are white in there. And that's pretty much as far as the racial diversity that you get, although you do, and I'm talking skin color diversity, you do have mention of people that are Jewish as well. And so that is in there. You do have LGBT rep. One of the characters is gay and dresses in drag. You do have racism in this, so do be aware of that as well. Ada has a brother named Teddy. Their relationship, and Teddy is the one that's gay, their relationship is very sweet. They call each other these cute little pet names, although these pet names are something that I would think is more, I don't know if it, I don't have a strong sibling relationship. I do have some step and half siblings, but I'm not close to them. So I don't know about nicknames for siblings, but I'm talking sibling nicknames like Puddin' Pop, stuff like that. So yeah, standard romance. The miscommunication is that someone doesn't, there's an assumption that's made by one person and they don't correct this assumption. And so there's that miscommunication, but of course the romance ends up getting resolved. So a couple of things, the word boob pops up twice, and then rack comes up once, which is in reference to a woman's chest, so in reference to boob. MFer, that's all I'm going to say about that, comes up once. Bum F comes up once, but it's used as terms of a place. If it's a place, it's either a fictional place or it's a take on something vulgar. I don't know. What else can I say? Okay, trigger, there's a lot of breaking and entering and stalking. There is quite a bit of that. So you do have that concern over the character's welfare and well-being, and you want to know who the stalker is and all of that. And then there's the fear that they feel, although I do feel like it wasn't as big of a deal as it would have had it been in normal life. I felt like it was very much played down, especially with how the character reacted with having the stalker break into their home. Ended up the stalker starting to stalk him at work, things like that. I felt like it was very much not realistic with how someone would react, especially where you don't know who is stalking you and what their ulterior motives are or the end game is. So I did feel like that could have been handled a lot better. I think there's a lot of direction that could have gone in, but that wasn't the main point of the book. The main point of the book is Ada traveling back in time, trying to find her special someone that she can fall in love with and have a romance with. So, yeah. Now the word slutty comes up 4 times. Damn comes up 22 times. Bitch comes up 6. Shit comes up 27 times. Ass comes up 14. Bastard 3 times. And then the following words come up 1 time each, and that's cock, whore, douche, and dick. So it is a bit vulgar when it comes to the language. However, there is no sex in this. There's one where it's leading to where they could have sex, but then they get caught and it's just like the skirt's starting to get hiked up and then it ends. And they actually don't have sex. And so you do not get any of this sex, which I didn't mind there not being any in there. It's nice to read a romance where that's not in there and the emphasis is on meeting someone and getting to know them and developing the relationship from the start. But again, language-wise, it does get pretty vulgar. If you don't like books having an affair, then you'll want to avoid this one because one of the characters does have an affair. So that is something to be aware of as well. And then as far as, let's see... Oh, the word, did I miss? No, okay. The word hell pops up 36 times. And then the following words do pop up, but they are not stated in any sort of a religious sense. The word God pops up 35 times. And Christ pops up once. And Jesus 3 times. And again, they're not done. I'm just telling you so that you know how many times they pop up. And in this particular case, it is not in a religious sense. So do be aware of that. So that is all I can say for that. Again, there is no sex in this book. So if you want a romance without the sex, this might be one that you want to go with. And one thing I will say in regards to the LGBT rep, this can be uncomfortable for some people because it can hit very close to home. So I do want to give you a heads up on this. There is talk about how people had to hide who they really were, which I personally don't think that's right. You shouldn't have to hide who you are. It's not fair to you or anyone else if you want to be real about it. But it's definitely can be very stressful and bothersome. And the things like that. I do not speak from personal experience, but I can understand and I can only imagine the stress associated with staying closeted or whatever the case is, of acting like you're straight when really you're gay or whatever the sexuality is that you have. So there is mention, it doesn't go into a lot of detail, but one thing that is mentioned later on in the book is how, like in Regency era, when people were gay, it was like they had to really hide it. People would still marry for, like they would be cut off from their family, which I mean, that happens nowadays too. But I don't think it's as prevalent as it was clear back like in Regency area. People that were gay would still marry someone of the opposite sex. So a gay man would still marry a woman. But you know, so he wouldn't be the happiest he could be in that relationship, and that's sad. But so you do have talk on that of how someone had to keep their sexuality hidden in school, and in this case, the family member is like, that shouldn't have happened, and it should not happen again in your particular life. It's not right for you, and I completely agree with that. So I don't think you should stay hidden. You are who you are. So that can get I can see that being very triggering and bothering. It's very minimal in there, but it is in there, and I can see that really making people uncomfortable. So I'm just letting you know so that you know it's in there. But those are the stats. Those are the words that are used. Again, it does get vulgar, but there is no explicit sex in there. You don't even have the fade to black. It's like, again, it's leading up to where they're going to have sex, but then they're interrupted, and then that's it. So there's no sex. Actually, is there a sex scene? There might actually be one, but it is played down enough, and definitely a major fade to black. If it is what I'm in there, I can't remember if it's that they had sex or they just made out. I don't remember, but I want to say there's no sex. So that was actually kind of refreshing to see more of the emphasis on the time travel and the life that people live, and that life doesn't revolve around sex and things like that. The sluttiness that's referenced to when the word slut comes up, it's in reference to Halloween, and how this one character, who's a side character or friend, wants to dress up as something, but as a slutty version of that something. And it's kind of, I want to say it's kind of done as like a joke, as how a lot of girls will dress up as a bunny, but it'll be a slutty bunny, or a nurse but a slutty nurse for Halloween. So and then men just dress up as whatever, but not, obviously not as a slutty version of whatever it is. So it was interesting. I enjoyed the writing. I am definitely interested in checking out more work from this author. I thought the plot was well done. There are some things I felt like could have been developed a bit more, so that it could have been a bit more realistic, like the thing with the stalker. I would have loved to have seen more stress regarding that. But outside of that, I thought it was pretty good. So, and I liked the time travel aspect. I like how that was handled. And how it's like with time travel, if that really existed, how many people would want to go back in time when they knew, like in our day and age, if we know that certain things happened in the past, would want to go and make certain financial decisions so that you can end up being a millionaire today when you're not, and yeah, all that stuff, how it can be used not in a good way. So there was definitely some commentary on that, and I thought that was very interesting. So that is it for the Once and Future Fling, again by Leigh Heasley, I'm guessing is how that is said. I am going to look real quick and see what else this author has out. Okay, now I think this is also under another name named Karios, which is the name of the time travel dating agency. There is a book called Karios, if I'm even saying that right, but it's basically the same synopsis for the Once and Future Fling, so I think it's just a different cover and a different title. There are some other works by this author, but there are 0 ratings on these other works. So I'm wondering if the Once and Future Fling is, I'm going to follow the author because I would like to see more work. So I'm wondering if this is the first official debut, even though there might be, you know, the 3 other things. I'll definitely look into those, but I don't know. Like there's one called The Living Web, but there is no description. I mean, so I don't know if it's a short story or what. And there's a book called I Am. But again, no description. I don't know what genre or anything. So maybe this is the first fiction, so the fiction debut by this author. I'm not positive. I'm going to have to do some more research, but I did go ahead and follow the author on Goodreads so that I can see as this author puts more work out there. I think they'd be interesting to watch their work develop and grow. So let me know if you've read the Once and Future Fling. I know a lot of you will not have read it because it is not out yet, but if you did happen to get an advanced reader's copy, let me know what you thought of it if you've read it so far. And yeah, talk to me in the comment section below and let me know if you've read a romance book with time travel before. What is your favorite romance book with time travel? Talk to me in the comment section below, and until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book, and I'll talk to you later.